What's good? What's good, peeps? What is good? What is good? What's good, everyone? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope everything's good wherever you are. Um, let's talk some boxing. Let's debate some boxing. Smash the like button, everybody in the live stream. I'd appreciate if you smash the live button. I really appreciate it. Smash that like button, peeps. Smash that like button. Yeah, I thought I'd come on here and talk some boxing. There's some big news. Canelo said something very that I want to discuss. Oscar Valdez has failed a test. Also, let's discuss that as well. Yeah, let's get your questions in, guys. Get your questions in and smash the like button. I really appreciate it. Smash that like button, guys. Everyone in the live stream, if you can smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it. Guys, let's talk a bit about boxing. I agree with Canelo. I agree with Canelo as well. I think there should be one champion, one face. And I think there's too many champions right now. There's too many champions. There's too many champions in the division. There's too many guys, unfortunately. And I want to see, it's not the fact, I don't mind the four governing bodies. I don't mind the four governing bodies. I have no problem with the four governing bodies. I have no problem with the WBA, IBF, WBO, WBC. No problem with those four governing bodies. You know, what I don't like is the fact that there's so many champions. I feel like it's a great opportunity that there's four governing bodies, because it gives people an opportunity to make money. It gives people an opportunity to become world champion. Because let's be honest, if there was one champion, there's a possibility that there might be great fighters that never get to fight for a world title. You know, I personally think this way you get an opportunity. The only problem is that these guys don't fight each other. That's the problem. That's what the bad thing is when the champions don't fight one another. If the champions fight one another, there will be no problem. The only problem is the champions don't fight each other. So Eric says diuretics can be stuff like coffee and laxatives, but I'm not going to excuse him either. Let's wait for more info. Yeah, that's why I don't really like talking much about it, because I don't really have much detail. You know, it's just we've been told that he's failed the drugs test. We don't know the full details and the full details behind everything. So hopefully, it's not anything serious. Canelo team will get a lot of stick for what Oscar did, but the drug he took was apparently for a losing weight drug. Hope this gets resolved soon. Yeah, I hope so as well, because Canelo, people are gonna have a dig at Canelo regardless, because obviously they're gonna say it was due to him. It may be nothing to do with him, but it gives, like I said, it gives people an opportunity to hate. Canelo Alvarez, he failed a test, and he did his time, learned from it, came back. And yeah, man, I think what's Canelo got to do with it? But yeah, guys, everyone in the stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd really appreciate it. If you can smash the live, I'd really, really appreciate it, guys. So Ray says, evening, Imran. Evening, lads. Man like Imran had his haircut looking fresh. Cheers, bro. Had to get it done. I get so busy, I don't really, shave or go for a haircut. But yeah, I've had to get it done today. My mom was not too happy. But yeah, I mean, back to it. Ray, I know you're very big on this as well, about having one champion, about them all fighting each other. I think it's a must. I think they must fight each other. They must all fight each other. I don't mind having four champions. I just want to see them all fight each other, to be honest. We need to chop it up on Pacquiao. Yeah, you can come on, man. You can come on and we can chop it up, man. Yeah, come on. Let me smash the thing on there. Let me get the thing on there. How is your Wi-Fi connection today? It's good, man. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good stuff. It's good today. What's going on, Ray? You good?
All right, how you doing? You okay?
All good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Liking the haircut?
Cheers, man. Cheers. I had to get it done. Like I said, man, it gets uncomfortable. When it gets too big, it goes in your ears and stuff. So I had to get it done. It's hard to find time sometimes to go get.
Tell me about it, man. Tell me about it.
It's hard. It's hard to find time, especially when you're doing all of this stuff as well.
Yeah, when you're busy, I need a fresh fade as well, so I need to get going.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. You wanted to chop it up about Pacquiao, about the fact that you think Pacquiao's past
And
his best.
but it's been a couple of weekends ago, but yeah, for me, he's if you can't beat the champions at that weight class, I don't want Pacquiao to become a Roy Jones Mark II. So for me, if you can't beat Spence, you can't beat Ugas, you can't beat Crawford. That's it for me at welterweight. Don't become a gatekeeper. Don't be Jones Mark II, because then you're running into the same categories what people are accusing Floyd Mayweather of doing. If you're having to go at, not you personally, but the people are having to go at Floyd Mayweather for fighting Logan Paul and Conor McGregor and protecting his own, at least he's keeping his faculties intact, rather than when you're over the hill fighting on and on and on, and then risking ruining your legacy by potentially getting seriously hurt, which is what Roy Jones did. We all know Jones should have packed it in at least 10, 15 fights before he actually, he still will go on a fight, because he wants a cruiserweight world championship. And this is I don't want Pacquiao going down that road.
I get where you're coming from.
I think what we saw in the Ugas fight was early signs that things aren't there for him. You know, it's a timing wasn't there, the ferocity wasn't there, the the ability to be in and out of range wasn't there, the effective aggression wasn't there. He'll still have his pop. He'll still have some elements of speed there, but the other attributes were starting to go. The ones that were the attributes that were there, you know, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, they're gone now.
Yeah, you know, I spoke to Gamo right after the fight. You know, he came on and he gave his thoughts, and he basically said, man, he felt it was the game plan, and they didn't really have a game plan for Ugas. And he also said that, you know what, Pacquiao said he's going to rematch. Like, he basically said he was going to rematch. Pacquiao will rematch Ugas. And then obviously a couple of days later, the report actually came out that Pacquiao's looking to rematch Ugas in January for a January fight. What do you think is a case where? He's shot to bits, or it's a case where they weren't really prepared for? Because Teddy Atlas said that. I know you put something up on Boxing Fans. Teddy Atlas actually put that they weren't actually prepared for Ugas. Do you think that if they were to have a rematch, that he could come better prepared and actually beat Ugas?
Well, I'll tell you why that's a myth straight away, that he wasn't prepared for Ugas, because Manny Pacquiao came out and said that Ugas was his easiest opponent. So how can you say that someone's your easiest opponent and then also say, but I wasn't prepared for him? At the end of the day, Manny Pacquiao's been fortunate. Although he's an 8-weight world champion, you can't take that away from him. Most of his opponents have been, the vast majority of them have been come forward fighters.
Yeah.
A lot more complex than that. You can't tell me you get to be an 8-weight world champion and not know how to fight a boxer as opposed to a come forward slugger. That's down on Freddie Roach, and that's down on Manny Pacquiao. So all this, he wasn't prepared for that style. I don't buy that 1 minute, because even Errol Spence's best attribute, or one of his best attributes, was his jab, although he was in a different stance. So I don't buy that one. I just think that you can't beat Father Time. He stands unbeaten. Nobody's ever beaten Father Time, and Pacquiao is losing to Father Time. It's as simple as that.
Gunner Season said Pac-Man is a 6-weight world champion. Where do you get that from? He's not a 6-weight. He's an 8-weight world champion.
Go back and read his facts.
Yeah. So basically, I personally think he will rematch Ugas. I just think, knowing the character, or knowing the competitive guy that Pacquiao is, I think he's gonna fight him again. I think he's gonna fight him again. To be honest with you, I think Steven also feels to think that he should retire. But I don't think he will. I don't think he will. Not on that. I think he will fight. I think he will fight. I think he will fight Ugas again. It's a tricky one for me because I really like Pacquiao, but I'm confused. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know whether it was the fact that he was not. I know he's not at his best. He's not been at his best for like good 6 years. But I think the Keith Thurman fight kind of flattered everyone a little bit. Keith Thurman fought, in my opinion, he didn't fight the right fight.
I agree, yeah.
And Ugas, for me, this is what I'm saying, and I might get stick for saying this. I think Ugas might have given Manny problems 6-7 years ago. I think that style. I'll ask you this, Ray. Who has Manny Pacquiao fought that big that can box as well as Ugas? Like that big. I'm talking like he was towering over Pacquiao and massive. Who has he fought that big? Because Margarito's not as skilled as Ugas in terms of boxing ability.
Margarito can't box. He just comes forward.
No.
Aside from Floyd,
But that Floyd fight didn't go well for him, did it?
No, and that's what I'm saying. Aside from Floyd Mayweather, there's no one. And this is the thing. This is what I was saying a few minutes ago. He's fought a lot of come forward fighters. The likes of Ricky Hatton. Guys that perhaps defensively weren't as sound as the likes of Mayweather and Ugas, and they're the ones that he has problems with. Albeit Marquez caught him.
Yeah.
Marquez knocked him out. Marquez is a tricky defensive fighter. I don't think Pacquiao has great success against those type of fighters. And then you factor in the fact that Ugas was significantly bigger than him. But Ugas was used his size well. He didn't just march forward and use his physicality. What I liked about, people said he used angles well. What he did was he used a jab in the backhand and stepped to his right. It was simple as that. Simple and effective boxing. He had a high guard. He tucked up well. He targeted Manny's body really well. He didn't let Manny get into any sort of rhythm. And when Manny did come forward and burst, he was always open to that right hand from Ugas.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The right hand couldn't miss.
Yeah, the right hand couldn't miss. And I just felt, again, someone of Manny's stature and experience. I mean, we're talking about somebody who's had almost 70 fights, or even, if not maybe more, and he couldn't get out the rear of the right hand. And Freddie Roach was getting a lot of stick for that, but Manny should know. And that kind of tells me is, could his legs not take him out there? Because when you've got the style that Manny has, when you're in and out, constantly on your toes, it takes its toll out your legs. When a 42-year-old and when they've been through the fights that Manny's been through, they're not going to last. And this is why I was saying, if that was Errol Spence in there, Errol Spence would have really hurt Manny Pacquiao. And I think I don't mean to call him out disrespectfully, because I'm not like that, but Garo's got to sit and realise that he's got to thank his blessings and his lucky stars. Manny Pacquiao wasn't in with Errol Spence, because Errol Spence he's a serious don, and he would have done a job on Manny Pacquiao.
We need to see Errol Spence back as well. I don't know, like a lot of people are speculating about what he's got left as well. Like he's been through, let's be honest, Errol Spence has been through hell and back, like the accident. Now he suffered another eye injury.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to be left of Errol Spence when he comes back as well. A little bit worried about that, because he's been through a lot in his short space of his short career. He's been through too much.
Yeah.
And I don't think. See, the thing is, I know he came back from the accident and he looked all right against Danny Garcia. I thought Garcia was very flat in that fight. Garcia looked a shell of himself as well. But to be honest, I think accidents like that Errol Spence went through, I think they've got to have a toll. They've got to definitely take a toll on your body, on your career. And that they say that there's a link between the eye injury and the accident. We don't know for sure. But I want to see Errol Spence back, see how he looks. I don't think it's going to be easy for him, especially the welterweight division is stacked with monsters, as you know. It's going to be tough for him coming back as well. I don't know about him either.
Yeah, it is. But in Errol Spence, he wants to go in a big hard fight straight away. You've got to give him credit for that. It's not as if he's wanting to take easy fights. So let's just see how it is. There are talks about links. There are talks about the eye being linked to the accent, but none of us are doctors here. We're boxing fans. So, and the argument was he was taking a lot of punishment in sparring. Is this a result? But for me, it's just, I mean, they were saying Fury was taking punishment in sparring. And that's why he, from Big Baby Anderson. So I don't know. It's all speculation. It's all rumors. I've officially heard that one put to bed when Carl and I did that Top Rank interview. So yeah, for me, I just think we just need to see Errol Spence back before we can judge him. But on Manny Pacquiao, I don't think we can see Manny Pacquiao compete against those world champions at welterweight. I think he should start thinking about wrapping it up.
I think now what's going to happen is I think he's probably going to look at that Ugas fight in January, and that now becomes a massive fight for him because many people won't think that he can beat Ugas at this point. So I think that becomes like, the fight it was with Errol Spence where not many people thought he could beat Errol Spence.
Yeah.
And they thought that, Errol Spence would beat him because of where he's at and the age and stuff. I think the Ugas fight probably becomes like that as well. So I think if he was to pull off a victory against Ugas, I actually think that his, it now is a much bigger fight. People were expecting him to beat Ugas, weren't they? But now, But now that is a fight where I actually think a lot of people will say that Ugas beats him, right? So that will drive Manny to beat him because he'll feel that adds to his legacy. Do you see what I mean? If he does lose, people will say, well, he was old man, and he'll probably get a pass. I don't think Ugas is going to knock him out personally. I think Manny showed that he's still very, very durable. Don't see Ugas knocking him out. It's not. I can see what you're saying about Errol Spence because Errol Spence sits down on his punches a lot more, doesn't he? He's a bit more.
Yeah.
Spiteful. I still don't know whether he would have stopped Manny. He took a lot of punches against Thurman, who hits very hard as well. So I still don't know. I don't know whether Errol Spence is a bigger puncher than Thurman. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think he's a bigger puncher than Thurman, to be honest. Do you think?
No, I don't. But it depends on how clean and how often he's hitting Manny.
Yes.
If he's hitting Manny clean and hitting Manny often, he could get Manny out of there. Then there's the body shots. Errol Spence is a deadly body puncher. He really is a good body puncher.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah, and Ugas body puncher was having some effect on Pacquiao as well.
Yes,
and I think you're right that the Manny Pacquiao being a very firm underdog will spur Manny Pacquiao on. But it's one thing spurring him on, and then there's one thing him doing it in the ring against Ugas. I just don't think I think Ugas is chomping at the bit to have a rematch because it's more money for Ugas.
Yeah,
Ugas will be absolutely delighted to give Manny Pacquiao a rematch. It's more money, and it'll probably be an easier fight for him.
Carl says, Imran, nonsense. There's nothing left with Manny. See, the thing is, when you're Carl saying there's nothing left, you see, if I ask you a question, Ray, if Manny was to fight Danny Garcia, who would you favor even now?
Right. To answer that question, I'd say Manny. But this is the thing, and this is where I could see where Carl's coming from. When you're an 8th division world champion, when you've been as great as Manny is, what's the point of stepping back and fighting people like Danny Garcia?
Yeah, good point.
So if you can't beat the champions, what you do? Because then, like I said, you're gonna be Roy Jones Mark II. And Manny doesn't want that for his legacy. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be just about beating people like Danny Garcia, who we all know he would have annihilated 5 or 6 years ago. And this is the thing. These are people that will probably struggle to lace his boots.
Yeah.
So this is the point that we're coming from. And I've just seen Stephen's comment there, and Stephen's a you know, a good friend of the show, very knowledgeable guy.
Mm.
And Stevens just come and said, well, Gamo was making excuses for Manny, and I've got
Mm.
to agree. He was. And I said from the start, and I know Carl said it as well, that Spence would be just too young, too strong, too powerful, and Manny just didn't have it anymore. And this is my worry for Manny. If you know, because as well as you saying he beats Danny Garcia, can you see him beating Boots Ennis? I can't.
That guy's a monster. Really, Boots Ennis is a
I
monster.
can't see him beating Virgil Ortiz either. And these are kids that haven't got world titles. Imran, this is what I'm saying. So if he goes in against them and he gets knocked out, Manny Pacquiao goes from becoming, he'll still be a legend, but you know, his reputation becomes tarnished because then he becomes a gatekeeper. Then he becomes an opponent, and he becomes a name on somebody else's record. So somebody else can go, look, I beat Manny Pacquiao. I'm a good fighter.
I think the thing is, because Manny's 42 and he's really old. I think naturally when you get to that age, you naturally start saying, the thing is, there's been times in Pacquiao's career where, like when he fought Jeff Horn, you know, although a lot of people thought he won that fight, he didn't look very good in that fight at all.
No, he didn't.
And a lot of people at that time were saying, you know, he's done and he's dusted.
Yeah.
And he came back and has had some good wins since then. So you just kind of one of those guys where you don't know whether it was a style, you know, whether it was a style. I think it was the style and the size of Ugas. It definitely had a big. I just don't think he could. I just think he was struggling, to be honest, to get to grips with the style. But I think the other thing is the fact that I think Ugas is too good for you to fight him on a week's notice. I know you were saying that he, you know, he's so experienced and stuff, and he should be used to. I just think when you've got a guy like Ugas who's a really, really good fighter, I think you've got to have a proper camp for him. I just don't think you should be looking for fighting Errol Spence and then say, you know what, it's a different style, it's a different guy. I think you should have a proper camp for someone like Ugas, not just, you know, put him in as a replacement, get him in as a replacement opponent on 1 week. So I think that you need to have a full camp for somebody like that, and you need to prepare for him. You know, give him the respect that he deserves, really.
But Imran, I think the disadvantage is for Ugas with 1 or 2 weeks left. Pacquiao's advanced in his training camp.
No,
so
but
he's
Ugas
only
was fighting as well. Ugas was fighting as well. Ugas was going to fight on the same card.
He was going to fight Fabian Maidana, wasn't he?
Oh, was he?
Yeah, but Fabian Maidana pulled out with the same injury as Spence. The thing for me is this, Ahmed and Imran. You know, you can't tell me with Pacquiao's experience in the game that he hasn't faced a similar style to Ugas in sparring before. You know, this style wasn't a complete stranger to Manny Pacquiao, and I can see why now on his record, Manny hasn't fought as many styles as what Ugas presented because he comes unstuck. Because that's how you keep somebody like Manny off you, by using that jab and stepping to your right if you're an orthodox fighter. And that's what Ugas did. You know, you could argue he followed the same, to a certain extent, the same model that Floyd Mayweather did.
What do you think, Stephen?
Well, I think, man, I disagree with you a little bit, Imran, just a small tad bit, in the sense that I don't really think the opponent really matter as much as nature taking place, father time taking place and creeping up on them, you know, like a thief in the night. You know, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think the guys at 147 are just a little too big for him, too young. I don't know if he can compete at 147 like my main man Ray said. I don't think he can. I think his best bet is to, go back down to 140 and campaign there. But I mean, you got killers at 140, so I mean, he's kind of like at a point to where, like, you got to decipher, man. Do you want to stick around long after your time is come and gone and like Ray said, become a gatekeeper and become a mockery of what you was, the great man that you was, or do you want to bask in your legacy and just be respected for the great fighter you was? So I think that Manny Pacquiao needs to talk it over with his camp and his family and decide that the best move is to retire at this point.
I agree, Stephen, 100%. 100%.
I think the main question he's got to ask himself and the people around him is that forget about Spence and forget about Crawford and that. If he wants to continue, can he beat Ugas? That's the thing. That's what he's got to ask himself truthfully. Can he beat Ugas? Does he think he's got what it is, or does he think he's got what he has, or does he think he still has enough left to beat Ugas? A lot of people, some people will say yes, some people will say no.
The thing is, bro, the last thing people say, the last thing for a boxer to lose or to go for a boxer is the boxer's power, the boxer's punch. I think it's the ego. And I think Manny Pacquiao, not that he walks around like Adrian Broner or Floyd Mayweather, but he will believe he can beat Ugas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Deontay Wilder still believes he can beat Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
So he will think, if I land on Ugas clean, and if I land with one of my famous flurries, I'll get him out of there. But everyone else should start to realize that Manny can't do it anymore like he used to do it. He can do it against lesser fighters, fair enough, but he won't be able to do it against Ugas. He won't be able to do it as in the upper echelon of the 147 division. He can't. People see he threw 800 punches in that fight. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he only landed 180 something.
Yeah, he didn't land a lot. Yeah.
Oh no, Manny's landed.
I mean, it wasn't a bad fight. I mean, I can't sit here and say that Manny, was just, totally outgunned in that fight. But I mean, realistically looking at it and looking at what I saw and just give you my spectators assessment, Manny was. I mean, he looked like he didn't belong in there with Ugas. He looked like he was just kind of, in an uphill battle with Ugas. Ugas looked that much better than him to me. And it's crazy because Ray's right. The last thing to go is your power. And I didn't see a lot of power in what Manny was throwing. So that kind of worries me. Is, that further substantiates my claim that I think it is time for him to hang it up.
I don't know. I would like to see him fight Ugas again one last time and then just call it quits. Just to have a proper camp for the guy. Give the guy a full respect rather than having 1 week notice crap that went on with the Spence pullout. So I'd love to see him fight once again in January, if that's what he wants, and then whatever happens after that, call it a day. There's nothing for him to get. If he beats Ugas, that's it. He would have achieved what he wanted to do in terms of, like, even though Ugas isn't Spence, it's still big. It's to win back the welterweight world championship at this age, and the fact that no one would give him a chance, it would be equivalent for me now to beating Spence. So it would be incredible because I don't think most people would think he wins that, right? So surely he can get a buzz out of that.
I mean, what are you sticking around for at this point? What do you have nothing else left to prove? That kind of bothers me that when these, not just Manny, but these athletes, and that's one thing I can say I respect about the likes of Andre Ward and Floyd Money Mayweather. I do respect the fact that they have called it quits and have not come back to the realm of boxing. Professional boxing. They haven't got that urge, and for those reasons, we can't say that we aren't here to scrutinize them on a performance basis like we can Manny Pacquiao. We're not, but when you stick around, you subject yourself to this type of scrutiny. It's unnecessary. Just
think about it though, right? Think about what you're saying, right? Think about in Pacquiao's head what he's thinking, right? So right now you're saying what has he got to prove? But imagine now he goes and beats Ugas. In your head, how much more respect would you have for Manny Pacquiao if he goes in there and beats Ugas?
But then
think about it, how much more he
I would have a lot of respect for him, but
because you don't think he could beat Ugas right now, right?
to then answer that, Imran, then he beats Ugas, and then he goes, okay, back to the original plan. I want to fight Spence again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well.
Ugas was just a blip. Do you see what I mean? It's
yeah. But then, Ray, would he be wrong though? But this is what I'm saying, because he just beat the guy. He just beat the guy. If he beats him emphatically, you couldn't even say he's wrong because he's just come back. This is what I'm saying, that Manny Pacquiao's looked washed like quite a few times in his career, where I thought maybe it's time for him when he lost to Marquez. Ooh, maybe it's
Manny
time for him to go.
Manny Pacquiao wants to get to the undisputed level and fight Crawford for all the belts, I think.
Nah, Crawford's all wrong at this point. Crawford's style is horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's not a good style.
Crawford will end up knocking Manny Pacquiao out.
You know, the Spence fight is the Crawford fight for me is worse at this point, because Crawford's a lot more athletic than Spence. He's a lot faster. You know, he's a lot more nimble. That's a horrible fight. You know, that's not a fight you really want. It totally outclassed Manny at this point. Whereas Spence is, firstly, Spence.
Yeah, you don't want to see that fight.
Which fight?
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick that you don't want to see that. You if you love Manny Pacquiao, you don't want to see him go out like that with Crawford. That'll be annihilation, man. And I just don't have. Yeah, I got too much love and too much respect for Manny to see him go out like that.
I think the Ugas fight. You know why the Ugas fight? I don't really mind the rematch, Stephen, because I don't really think Ugas is a dangerous fight. Do you know what I mean? It's not really like he's going in there with a massive puncher that's gonna put him away. I think Ugas is more a skilled boxer, so it's more of a case where I think Ugas will outclass him if he, to win the fight, rather than battering him.
Yeah, Ugas won't be able to break Manny down or anything. It'll just be the fact that I'd be able to try and outbox him, really.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't really mind the rematch. Do you know what I mean? I don't really mind it if he feels he can do it. But I don't, like I said, if he does retire, it's fair enough. Like I said, he's a legend, isn't it? So it's not like it. I don't really have a problem either way. I don't really have a problem if he again.
I mean, humiliation is humiliation. However, you cut it. I mean, whether you getting outclassed and made to look like you aren't able to compete, or you getting bombed on. So it's a lose-lose situation. I don't want to see I don't want to see him get his clock clean, by Crawford, get stopped by Crawford, but then I don't want to see him in there with Ugas, and it's a one-sided affair, like it was, even worse than last time. In short, what I'm trying to say is that I love Manny too much to see him go out like a sucker. Retired, man.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I still don't know. I still wouldn't mind seeing him fight Ugas, but again,
what do you say, Ray?
No, I just think Manny Pacquiao should just walk away. He's achieved too much to risk it. The Ugas fight would just be for ego alone, something to prove to himself. But he's achieved feats in this sport of boxing that many boxers won't achieve, and there probably won't be another Manny Pacquiao for 20, 30 years. We're talking about a generation. Manny Pacquiao can retire comfortably. He's got money. He's got distractions with running for office in the Philippines. I know it's easy for us to say as fans, and probably us who have dabbled in the boxing ring but never beaten out those dizzy heights as what Manny Pacquiao has. But I'm just thinking of the guy's health. As I've said to Imran before, Stephen, I don't want him to become Roy Jones Mark II and just go on for the sake of going on, because people have a go at Floyd Mayweather for fighting Conor McGregor, but he was never in any serious doubt of getting hurt in that fight. Whereas people can say, oh, Manny Pacquiao's taking on big challenges. Yeah, but he's also taking on big risks of getting hurt. And if he gets hurt in that ring, bang goes his career. in office in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So all that hard work he's done is going to go to waste, you know, and he's probably going to end up. It's the same with Roy Jones. And I keep going back to Roy Jones because people now look at Roy Jones and say he was a legend, but they're going to say to Manny Pacquiao, he was a legend, but, and that but is he went on far too long, and that's a sad state of affairs. I just want him to sail off in the sunset, you know, and it's hard because his ego is saying he still wants to fight.
I think you're right in the sense that even my dad was speaking to my dad. He's like, what has he got to prove? He's achieved so much. There's not, even if he beats this guy, he's not really got a lot to gain. Yeah, he beats him, and but like, you know, I just think knowing Pacquiao, he's not going to retire. Let's be real. I think, you know, Pacquiao, Ray, Stephen, you know, he's not going to go at like this. He's not going to retire. I don't think. So the realistic option is that he's going to probably do the rematch. He's already about the rematch, you know?
Well, there's a lot of things you can do in boxing. You don't really have to, you know, if you really just want to stay within the sport of boxing, you know, you don't really have to box. I mean, you could train, you can manage, you can, you know, you could promote. Hell, you can do what Floyd Mayweather is doing and fight exhibition fights, but you don't have to subject yourself to foolery. I'm here, by the way, too. I'm just eating my burger, man. I'm eating a little burger, so I'm finna mute myself.
Fair enough. So, Stephen, Ray, your opinion is he should retire. Ash, sorry. Ash?
Right, man.
What's going on? You good?
What happened to the stream yesterday?
Hey, I don't know. I think the Wi-Fi just died, man.
Yeah, just died, did he?
Yeah, dodgy stream. You know what I mean? Dodgy connection in the night. I don't know why it gets dodgy.
Oh, 1 minute you were there, next minute you just disappeared.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. What do you think then, Ash? What do you think? Do you think Manny can beat Ugas in the rematch?
I kind of agree that you kind of should kind of pack it in and in. Not that he's finished, but in the reason it doesn't need to. Like maybe these guys are saying maybe he's tarnishing his legacy in a way, maybe by losing it, you know, to this guy. And then, but Manny Pacquiao is the type of guy he's gonna come for the rematch, I think, and then maybe retire. Because normally if someone's gonna retire, I think by now they would have come out with it, wouldn't they, and say, "Oh, I'm done now."
Yeah,
it's been about a couple of weeks now, and he's just kept quiet. So maybe in his mind, he's still got it, and you know he still wants it. So that's why I think he's gonna. What I want him to do is something. Obviously, I want to maybe to the rematch, and then after that, just call it a day. There's no point going up and fighting Errol Spence and these guys now.
Yeah, no. There's no. I don't know on that. Not on that performance.
What it is, it's not
Ray's
that.
right though. But Ray's right. If he ends up beating Ugas, as he knocks Ugas out in the rematch, then how does it end? You know what I mean?
No, but you got to remember that then you got to go through another tough camp and do all that on your body again, and you can't handle it now at this age. So he's done that now. I think maybe one more because he's sharp anyway. Maybe just you know gets a few in there because the cuts were small anyway. They weren't really big cuts, so he can be back maybe before Christmas if they really want to make it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think do it quick, man. Do it quick. Don't wait another year or so.
No. If he's gonna do it, it's gonna be this year, I think.
Yeah, January or whenever. Do it quick.
Early next year.
And then whatever happens, just call it a day, man. I reckon he should take the fight if he's gonna fight the rematch in the Philippines. You know what I mean? That's why probably be a good way to go out. Maybe he'll get some motivation as well to fight in front of his people. But guys, I want to talk a bit about what Canelo had to say. Canelo said there should only be one champion per weight class. Yeah, Ray, I know you've talked about this quite a bit, and you've done quite a lot of talking about it. What's your opinion on what Canelo had to say?
I think, of course, boxing should strive to have the one champion in every weight class. So everybody knows who the champion is. I agree with having the four governing bodies, but I do agree that there should be the one champion in every weight class, and I do agree that these governing bodies should rewrite the rules to the point where they relax the mandatory situation to allow unifications and fights for the undisputed. And if there's no winner, if it's a draw, do an immediate rematch. Don't make them fight mandatories like we're seeing in the like middleweight division. If there's a draw, like there was between Charlo and Castano, do an immediate rematch. There should be. It should get to the point where out of the 17 weight classes, there should be at least 8 or 9 undisputed champions. And then eventually we're going to get to the point where there's going to be 15 or 16. We shouldn't be getting, you shouldn't get to a point when in 2021 there's only been 5 undisputed champions in the modern era. I mean, we're lucky we almost had 4 undisputed fights this year. We're just going to settle with the 3. But I think that's shocking. I think that's really, really poor. People talk about UFC coming trying to take over boxing. UFC, I'll never take over boxing. Never take over boxing. One, because boxing's an Olympic sport, and 2, there's a lot greater money in boxing. But that's because there's not just a one promoter. If there's one promoter in boxing, we need to stop watching boxing because that's a sorry state of affairs. Because then Eddie Hearn or whoever it is will pay everybody peanuts. You can't have that. You need to have loads of promoters, and you probably need to have the 4 governing bodies, but they need to do it properly. The way they're doing it now isn't proper. And if it continues like this, we're going to have some major problems.
Fair enough. I don't really have a problem with 4 governing bodies. What I have a problem with is like them having 2 or 3 belts and not knowing who the actual champion is in the weight class. That's a big issue, man. Like there's 2 or 3 champions there. So firstly, there's 4 champions anyway, which is a lot, but fair enough. I feel like it gives fighters an opportunity rather than having 1 champion and just making it so difficult. You may get a guy that's really good that never gets a shot for a title. But I just think it gives people opportunity to make good money. Commercially, it's good. And also it's more satisfying. Like when Josh Taylor won the 4 belts, it's more satisfying for the guy to have 4 belts around him. There's more sense of satisfaction. Do you see what I mean? But the problem I have, Ray, is that they don't fight each other. The champions don't fight each other. We have that in the middleweight division. Andrade and Charlo, because of the boxing politics, we've got a fight like Andrade and Charlo, 2 undefeated guys, right? And that to be honest, that one really, let's be honest, stands out like a sore thumb, right? Charlo and Andrade is a fight which is 2 undefeated guys, and they're not fighting each other.
Crawford?
Yeah, Crawford Spence. That one is a super fight. We all know about that. But the middleweight division, I feel like the welterweight division is getting I feel like they're fighting each other. Like Ugas is a champion. He's willing to fight Spence. And then eventually I think Spence and Crawford will get it on. I personally think they will get it on. But with the middleweight division, Charlo and Andrade, do you see what Charlo's trainer said? He said, Andrade ain't getting that fight. Why not? Like, I don't understand. This is what I'm saying. It feels to me like, or this is what I was told by somebody, that Andrade's trainer said that, Charlo's trainer said that he's not getting that fight. And I've seen Charlo say he's a boring fighter as well. But the fact of the matter is that we want to see the champions fight each other. We want to see the best fight the best. And unfortunately, the middleweight division, it looks like Golovkin's going to fight Murata. That's going to have a unified champion. Charlo and Andrade should fight. The winner fights Golovkin, and the winner fights the winner for an undisputed fight. That's what should happen. But I don't think Charlo and Andrade are going to fight.
No, and they probably won't. And I agree where you're coming from.
I don't think they're going to fight neither.
But I don't know whether you agree with this, Stephen. I think, you say to the 4 major governing bodies, you need to change your rules. And you need to put something in place where a fighter wins your belt and he wants a unification, no matter what network he is, make that fight mandate fight and get the fight. And if they can't arrange a fight within 30 days, send it to purse bids.
That's the thing, though, because it'll make, if, for example, Andrade gets made the mandatory for Charlo, right? If Charlo was to vacate, it makes Charlo look like a sucker, right? Yeah. So put the emphasis on the fighter. So put the pressure on them, because by them vacating, we all know how boxing fans react to guys vacating their titles. Especially we know what happened to Riddick Bowe. We saw what happened to Canelo when he vacated, even though Canelo ended up fighting Golovkin. So, fair enough. He ended up fighting Golovkin, so it wasn't as bad. But fans at the time acted angrily, and with Riddick Bowe the same when he threw his belt away in the bin. So the thing is, it's like, I feel like put the pressure on the fighters by making. So if they feel that Charlo's the one that's not interested, make Andrade mandatory for him. So they have no choice but to fight. But I think the problem is the powers to be behind it. Go on, Stephen.
We need more structure in boxing, man. Straight up and down. We need more structure. Well, I don't know what the rules should be, or what's going to happen, but we need more mandated action requirements. I'm cool with the belts too. You want all the the WBO, IBF, and whoever, the LGBTQ community. You want to all stay around. I'm cool with that. But it needs to be some mandated requirements that these guys to stop all this this political bureaucratic navigation maneuvering that they doing. I don't want to fight you because you don't have a high enough profile or this, that, and third. Man, no, man, stop being a sucker and let's see who the best is. Need to be one champion per weight division. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think though, Stephen, I think the powers to be, promoters have a big say with the governing bodies. So I feel like there's certain promoters that have good relationships with certain governing bodies, and I don't think they want to go against them, because I know Frank Warren has a very good relationship with the WBO. I feel like every one of his fighters gets a title shot at a WBO belt. Yeah. So and then there's you see a lot of Al Heyman fighters with the WBC. Seems like they have a good relationship. So there's a lot of things behind the scene that we probably we don't have insight to. But yeah, there's a lot of look at Deontay Wilder. He was WBC champion for so long, and it felt like the WBC were kind of gifting him they weren't really putting him in serious tests when it came to mandatories, were they? They were giving him.
Same with Floyd.
Yeah.
Treatment. Yeah. He got, when he had spells away from the sport, he was upgraded to WBC champion emeritus. And you get that. I don't know whether that's to do with the sanctioning fees or a fighter's reputation, but that's sad. I don't know whether once we've sorted that out in boxing, to have the four bodies and you have one, boxing just may genuinely, like most of the sports, need new blood. We're seeing it in football because you've got people like Suleiman in the WBC and the WBA chairman or president, they've been in for that long. They're ingrained with all this. This is not even old school. This is archaic. And I just think we just need a reform of the sport from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's a perfect way to say it. It's archaic. Sorry about the go ahead.
I don't mind fighters getting involved and fighters actually getting involved in stuff like this, trying to sort out the structure. I know the WBC have made Amir Khan the president in the Middle East.
Yeah.
That definitely a good move. He has good relationships with people over there. But again, I don't know whether obviously only he knows how active he is and what he's doing. He over there. Obviously he's a very busy person and has his hands in a lot of places. So I don't know how much time he can spend. I'm pretty sure he has a team doing it. I'm not sure how much he's doing himself. He probably has a team looking out for that. But the thing is, I think we need more fighters actively involved because let's be honest, they're the one that go through the ropes. So they know what's wrong with the sport. They know what needs to be cleaned up. They know they know the behind the scenes that the fans don't really get to see. So I would love to see more, give him a second chance. But
Ray called it.
Yeah, I
yeah,
did.
he
I
did, to
said.
be fair. He did, to be fair. But everyone else wanted me to give him a chance. I thought give him a chance, but never again. Never again. And he might be somebody that actually changed his name according to so never again. Never again. He's come on before. I've seen him come on before, and it actually made some decent points. But today he was off on one. But yeah, Carl, I want to ask you some questions about Pacquiao. You had your opinions about Pacquiao. Canelo and Valdez is failing his test. Go on, the platform's yours.
So Pacquiao is spent, I don't know how many times I need to say it. He should keep out the ring. It will tarnish his legacy. You know, we don't want the Roy Jones Jr. Mark II. Yeah, I know Stephen thinks he's got a little bit left in the tank, but I'd have to beg to differ. Nothing there. I know people are saying he was competitive, but what we're saying is it enough now for Manny Pacquiao to be competitive? Surely not.
Mm-hmm.
So, hang the gloves up. You've had a good career. You know, you can't be short of a bob or two. Go and do your politics. That's my view. And
Canelo
what was
Alvarez?
Say again?
What do you think about? Were you gonna say something? Were you gonna say
No,
something
no.
else? Okay. So Canelo Alvarez and saying that there should only be one champion per weight class.
Yeah, I agree with what you lot said, to be honest. I agree with the 4 belts. But I think they should kind of have a World Boxing Super Series tournament every so often, where all the champions come together in a tournament style, because it takes all the politics away, and we can finally find out who's the best in each weight. So, yeah.
This is what I've been saying. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. Not just that, fighting for the fans as well. Look how many people were jumping back of the World Boxing Super Series when they announced that they were going to do a women's one. Carl, look how many people were jumping on that. Look how many people were jumping on when they did, I think, 3 or 4 in 1 year, a year or 18 months. You know, when they did the super bantam, they did the bantamweight one, the cruiserweight one, the super middleweight one. So I think it can work. I really think it can.
What do you guys make of Oscar Valdez failing the drugs test, man?
Like I said, I think it's bad for the camp. You know, albeit there's question marks about Canelo. Now Valdez. Now you got to realize everybody's going to be looking at people like Andrew Ruiz, Ryan Garcia. People are going to be really questioning those kids in those camps.
Yeah, there's always something fishy going on with that camp, man. I mean, where there's smoke, and there's been too much smoke, you know, in that camp. I think it's a little bit of fire there, man.
Yeah.
What about we've got Dominic? Dominic Ingo here there's been a lot of the finger pointing here with that camp as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, you could argue that there was.
Billy Joe and Kid Galahad failed, didn't they?
Yeah, there was. So that camp gets a lot of question marks as well. I just think Eddie Reynoso, like, you know, he was building a very good reputation for himself. At one point, people were talking about him as the best coach in the world, having the best gym in the world. But about that now.
What was that, Ray?
I was just saying that people were talking about Eddie Reynoso as being the best coach in the world and having the best gym in the world and having the best stable in the world. But there's question marks about that. You know, it doesn't matter that Valdez took a diuretic. He's obviously took a substance he's not supposed to have taken. That's what people have got around. It's not. It might not be in a steroid or what have you. He's taken a substance. He knew he's known. I mean, we've got to wait until a B sample comes before we can 100% say. But I can say so far, we believe on the information that we've been given, he's taken a substance. He's more than likely have known that he shouldn't have taken. And when Canelo's already done that, you've got to ask question marks on that.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I don't know what to say about. Failing drugs tests, and I don't know what can be done. I don't know what can be done, to be honest. Just stop it. Now Eric says update. Valdez was not caught with diuretics, but the substance phentermine. Now I've read a lot about like substances and stuff, and I've never heard of that before. So I don't know what benefits that gives you. I don't know what that does.
It may have disguised.
A lot of people take it to lose weight.
No, that's diuretics, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a diuretic. I think this thing he's taking is supposed to disguise it. I think
that's even worse.
Yeah,
that's worse. That's not. So what do you think is going to happen now? Valdez, is he going to be stripped? He's obviously was fighting, isn't he?
We don't know. Obviously, the fight in September may not go through, but I really don't know. The fight in September may not go through, and then he could be stripped. But I suppose we can't decide that until the B sample comes through.
Ray, I wanted to ask you. Obviously, we can't speculate on the Oscar Valdez. I wanted to ask you about Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had a fight against Tyrone Woodley.
Yeah.
And obviously, Tommy Fury, two of our guys, Tommy Fury and Daniel Dubois, were on the undercard.
Yeah.
What do you make of all of that? Firstly, and what do you make of, Tommy Fury potentially fighting him? Or there's obviously a lot of talk. Jake Paul's actually, let's be honest, he's getting a lot more hype than actual boxers. He gets so much hype. There's so many people talking about him. You see on Facebook, the amount of attention that he gets. Literally, our boxing page is covered with his posts, right?
Yeah.
What do you make of it? What do you make of what the guy's doing and how the guy's made such a big splash?
Do you want me to be honest?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's in a very good chance of beating Tommy Fury.
No way.
Yeah.
Ray, you're saying that?
Yeah, because I think don't get me wrong, I don't like Jake Paul. I think he's hopeless, but I think Tommy Fury's just as bad.
No way.
Yeah. Tommy Fury's basically it's a bit like in football. Somebody's a very good footballer, and their brother who's never kicked a ball along comes along to training, and everybody thinks he's good because he's related to a very good footballer. That's the same with Tommy Fury. I don't see anything in Tommy Fury that ticks the boxes that he can fight. If you take away Tommy Fury's right hand, there's nothing else he can do. We've got to stop. Yes, he's a pro boxer, but he's absolutely hopeless. He is. I'm. He's 7-0. And he's still fighting 4 rounders, man. Most people that we know that are 7-0 are fighting 8 rounders, or they're getting ready for some sort of Northern area or Southern area title or what have you. Look at the prospects that have been under, Frank Warren and under Hennessy and under Eddie Hearn and Top Rank and Golden Boy, and it's no good saying he's had no amateur experience. Campbell Hatton's had barely any amateur experience, neither did Conor Benn. But they after 7 fights, you could see they had something, or you could they weren't still in 4 rounders. The pushing Tommy Fury so slowly, I've got no confidence in him. I don't believe Jake Paul although he brings new fights for his events, these people don't stay around. They don't hang around boxing. So I don't believe that there's an argument that he's bringing new fans to the sport. He's bringing fans to watch him, but he's not bringing new fans to follow the sport. In order for me to see that, this for example, I was listening to a podcast with a boxer on, And this boxer said that they've got young kids, they're about 7 or 8, and this boxer was a 2-weight world champion, and they can't believe that their dad would beat Jake Paul. It's got to that point now where little kids that don't know the sport of boxing think Jake Paul could be ready, you know, could be in the ring with Anthony Joshua. They're that deluded about the sport. So they'll come and they'll watch Jake Paul, but they'll not stay on. They'll not watch the rest of the card, or they'll not even watch Anthony Joshua when he fights against Usyk. They just literally will tune in to watch Jake Paul. So really, we're not bringing that many eyes to the sport. People will watch his weigh-in, people will watch his workouts, but they won't watch the rest of boxing. So they're not really coming to the sport. So in essence, I don't think he's that good for the sport. I think he cheapens the sport and he devalues the sport. But having said that, I still think he's probably within a chance of beating Tommy Fury. Because Tommy Fury is, okay, if Tommy Fury lands on him, fair enough. But I wouldn't be surprised if he outboxes Tommy Fury, or at least is ahead on points before he gets stopped.
What did you make of Fury's performance against Anthony Taylor that he fought?
From bearing in mind, I don't watch these YouTube cards, but I know very good friends of mine watch them. They said he was poor. They said he was hopeful. He's absolutely hapless. They said, so again, that supports what I was saying about Tommy Fury. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I've seen him when he's been on Frank Warren shows, and I'm not being at all. And with this guy being a 5'7" former MMA fighter, I expected him to stop this guy within maybe 2 rounds, and he laboured to a points victory. If I'm This guy's 5'7". Tommy Fury's 6'2". Surely that tells you, Imran, you're a very knowledgeable guy in boxing. Very knowledgeable. You should know that Tommy Fury can't use his reach and his height if he can't stop the guy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a bit. It was definitely disappointing, the fact that he didn't stop him. But
at least Daniel Dubois got a stoppage from all accounts, and he was against an opponent that was apparently levels below him.
Yeah.
If Tommy Fury has anything about him, he should have been using his height and reach, and then stopping this Anthony what was it, Taylor. Pretty Boy Taylor? He should have been stopping him, but he didn't.
The other one I want to talk to you about is Daniel Dubois. So Dubois is obviously he's been made mandatory for Anthony Joshua. Or is he mandatory, or he's their number one challenge? He's in number one position, isn't he? So he could be mandatory. I think he's mandatory. I think because they take away his interim belt, didn't they?
Yeah. So he's in the WBA. Mandatory. He is. He's WBA mandatory.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's ready for that fight.
No.
For that fight, I think Daniel Dubois got a lot of flaws. He's got a lot of power. That'll take him only so far. But the manner of the defeat by Joe Joyce, if you can't find a way past the jab at British level, you're not going to be successful at world level. The jab's the most.
Joe Joyce is not British level. Come on.
But he's not world level either, Ash.
Well, he's in the fringes of it. We haven't seen him in one world level yet.
But okay, Ash. The problem I've got is it was the jab that beat him all night long.
But Joe Joyce
didn't have to hand.
Sorry, if you go back and watch Joe Joyce versus Usyk, he gave Usyk problems. So it's not it's a big proper. So that's what it's not easy jab. No, it's in the Olympics. It must have been amateur.
Yeah, exactly. That's.
But I mean, but that was the same jab. So that jab's not easy to get away from, and he's a big guy. That's what I'm trying to say.
I know exactly where you're coming from, and obviously for the record, Usyk won that fight, didn't he?
But, but it wasn't. It was tight.
But my thing is this: if you're going to be up against Anthony Joshua, who's at the top level in the heavyweight, and he's a lot bigger, and he's a lot stronger, and he hits a lot harder, you're going to have to be prepared to offer more than somebody who looks confused against the most basic punch in the book.
You mean Danny Dubois? Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that he was ready. What I'm saying is just put a little bit of respect on, Joe Joyce, because I think he's higher than British level.
I don't know. I mean,
Your car rates Joe Joyce very high.
I know he does. But I mean, he didn't look very good. I don't have it, as you know him, man. I don't have a great opinion of him. He didn't look great in his last fight.
Look, he's not a guy that's got special effects. He does things good. He does the fundamentals really good. This is why he beat Daniel Dubois.
But he's very slow though. He's very slow, and I just kind of think
he's got a chin like he's got a granite chin.
Yeah. He's got a tremendous chin, and he has got a good work rate, and he's very people don't like boxing him, so that tells you something about him. He's not completely useless.
He can box. His boxing skills are impeccable. He's a really good boxer.
Who, Joe Joyce?
He is, yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
He's underrated. Hey man, do you think he's underrated?
Because he doesn't look good. That's why.
His fundamentals are really good. You got to remember.
Bernard Hopkins didn't look good neither to me, but he was a good boxer.
Daniel Dubois,
Bernard Hopkins wasn't like that though. This guy's like terrible to watch. He's effective.
This guy,
terrible to watch.
Right. If this guy can control him with the jab, that tells you he's got some skill in it. From that guy, Dubois knocking guys out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If he can control him with his jab, he can use it. And obviously, I've just been saying that Tommy Fury would never be able to do that. So he has. But I just think that that win against Daniel Dubois is made him look fantastic, because Daniel Dubois isn't that good. I don't put it this way, Ash. I don't think he can do that to many other the top heavyweights. I think Andy Ruiz, he couldn't do it to Usyk. He couldn't do it to Ortiz. He could do it to
Ortiz.
Martin, and Dubois, but he can't do it to any of them.
I reckon the only guy maybe he could have do it is Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, maybe AJ as well. But Ortiz, I think he beats Ortiz.
Do you think he beats Ortiz?
I reckon it's a good fight. Yeah, I think he beats Ortiz. Ortiz too old now, and with Joe's work rate and the way with his way he puts it, if he presents himself on Ortiz won't be able to handle that. And then you got who else is there? Chisora, he beats Chisora, but he's not top level. Who else is there? Ruiz might give him a bit of trouble because he beats Parker, I think. This is just my opinion. Ruiz would give him trouble because I think because of his height, and this is what I was going to get to. Dylan White and him would be a really good fight. That would be, I think, a 50-50 fight between them two guys, and it'd be a good fight. But yeah,
I think he's a good
Ray,
fighter.
what do you think?
I think Dillian White would beat Joe Joyce. I think Dillian White's too rough, too strong.
Can you hold the shot though?
Sorry?
Can you hold the shot though properly? He's kind of chin in there.
Well, in my nose, I've always said this as well. I think it's hard to say certain heavyweights are chinny because of the sheer size of the guys. When you're getting hit somebody who's 18, 19 stone and hits you clean, you're going to have that effect. Joe Joyce is a bit of a freak where he has a solid chin, but Joe Joyce is there to be hit. Don't forget that. And I think at some point, Joe Joyce will probably, his legs are buttoned. He's been stopped before. In the amateurs, I know you pointed to his amateur fight against Usyk. He's been stopped before in the amateurs. He's been knocked out. He's been stopped on his feet, and I can see the same happening because these guys the bigger guys at heavyweight are big punchers, and so I do think Dillian White's in with a good chance of stopping him. I do think some of the fights that you've mentioned, I would agree with. I do think some of the fighters he would definitely beat. I'm not too sure with Ortiz, if Ortiz has still got a bit left. I know he's going up there in age, but you know, Ortiz is still quite crafty, and I'm not too sure that Joe Joyce is effective against those styles. I think Joe Joyce is effective against somebody that walks forward. He can pick them off with his jab and then use his backhand if he needs to. Somebody like Zora would be a fight again where Joe Joyce would look absolutely class in because of his Chisora style. But Usyk would be very tricky for him because Usyk's quite slippery.
This weekend, guys, we've got Josh Warrington v Mauricio Lara. That's a great fight, man.
Yeah.
That's a great fight. I'm looking forward to that one.
You see my prediction for that, haven't you?
Yeah. Asher said he feels Lara's going to knock him out. I feel Lara. If I had to put my house on it, I'm going to say Lara.
Yeah.
Ray, what do you think?
I'm going to go for Lara. The reason why I think Lara is because I don't think Josh Warrington's going to fight any other way. And I think what we saw with Josh Warrington is that they talk about him underestimating Lara, but he clearly couldn't take Lara's power. Now, if he can't take Lara's power in the first fight, what he needs tells me is he needs to box in this fight. He needs to tighten up defensively, and he needs to be on the outside. But Josh Warrington's never done that before, and he can't do that. He doesn't fight like that. Josh Warrington fights throwing a lot of punches, trying to get on the inside as much as possible. But in order to do that, he takes 3 in order to land 1. Not exactly a known puncher.
No.
Now, that tells me he's also defensively very suspect because, like I just said, he takes 3 to land 1. And if he's going to fight like that, it means he's going to get hit a lot. And if he's getting hit a lot by a puncher, that doesn't bode well for him.
You know who he reminds me of, Ray?
Who?
Guess.
A
very loved British fighter.
Hatton?
Yeah.
I think the difference with Hatton is the obvious one is Hatton's probably a better body puncher. Well, Hatton's a very much better body puncher than what Warrington was. But at least you see when you look at Hatton, when Floyd Mayweather Senior had him, he tried to make Hatton box, didn't he? He tried to box against Malignaggi. He used the jam and stuff, but he didn't look comfortable doing it.
Oh no.
And I think if he did that to Warrington, he'll just revert back to type. As soon as he gets tagged, he'll revert back to type. I can see similarities in what you're saying, but I just, we're talking about Manny Pacquiao earlier on the top of the show, how Manny Pacquiao wasn't able to make adjustments. And then look at Floyd Mayweather. He was always able to make adjustments. That, for me, is a mark of a great fighter. And that's why I like Josh Taylor, because the likes of him and Andre Ward can make adjustments mid-fight. Josh Warrington can't make no adjustments.
That's why I'm comparing him to...
Yeah.
He was quite one-dimensional in the way he fought. He
Exactly.
had one set way of fighting. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think Hatton could fight any other way, really.
Yeah, and if you are that way, where you can't fight any other way, and somebody's got your number, you're going to struggle in a rematch.
And did you notice when Hatton went up to welterweight? See, a lot of the thing is with these guys like Warrington and Hatton is that because they fight one way and they rely on output and they rely on like literally having a tear up on the inside, they're very good on the inside, is that when they fight bigger and stronger men, they can't do it. Like Ricky Hatton, if you watch the Collazo fight, he really struggled in that fight because Collazo was a bigger man. Collazo was basically Ricky Hatton, just bigger, bigger and stronger. So Ricky Hatton really struggled in that fight. Warrington, for me, has met somebody that is like him in Lara, but he's basically a bigger puncher. And I don't think Warrington can fight on the back foot. I don't think Warrington can outbox him. And even if he can outbox him, how long can he do it before Lara catches him with something?
Exactly. And also Lara's bigger than Warrington as well.
Yeah. And that's the problem. I don't think he can move up weight. I don't think he can move up weight either. I don't think he can move up weight. I think he has to stay at 126 pounds. He can't.
I don't think if he moved up, he definitely wouldn't be effective because he would lose all his advantages straight away. Don't get me wrong, Josh Warrington had a lot of success when he beat Selby. Remember when he went on that run? When he beat Selby, he beat Frampton. He beat Galahad. He went on that good run. But my worry is that there's a way to beat Josh Warrington, and when you're putting it on him, when you're bullying him, he doesn't have an answer for it because he can't keep you off. He won't have the power to keep you off. He can't box you on the back foot. He's not elusive. He can't evade your punches. He's not going to be able to cut off the ring and target your body because he's not really a body puncher. Yeah, so you can and he'll try and hook with a hooker, and that's a real worry for me because he hasn't got that power. And the other problem is, and nobody's mentioned, is that he's fighting in front of his own fans. So that tells me he's not going to tuck up. He's going to go for hell for leather. So he end up getting stopped quicker. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree. Ash, you agreed with Ray, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know. I came on before Ray. What opinion? Basically, I told you he can't box basically box the guy. He's gonna try walking him down or try and that guy's got the power, and then maybe knocking him out again. That was my opinion. So I don't know how's the race. Is he on points, Ray? Or
you see, don't get me wrong, and I've just seen Richard's comments there, and I'm a big fan of Richard. I see a lot of his stuff on Facebook, and he's the Leeds boy, and I hope, I would love to be proved wrong. I hope Warrington does it for Leeds, but I can't see Richard. I'm telling you all, lads. I think Laura will beat him. I think Laura.
yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just being straight. Anyway, what's my opinion? That I think that Laura's power is going to be too much for him.
Yeah.
Steven,
yeah.
you got.
I don't know too much about Laura. So
You don't know too much about Laura.
So I won't be able to give a good assessment of it. Sorry about that. I can't speak on things I don't know too much about. You know what I mean?
Basically,
will you be watching it, Stephen? Will you be watching the call on Saturday or not?
Yeah. I mean, I watch any time I see boxing. I watch. It's just a matter of the time and if I have access to or whatever. But I can always catch matches on YouTube and stuff. That's what I do a lot, to keep myself well versed on boxers in general. Go to YouTube and rewatch a fight in a minute.
Fair one, yeah. It'd be an interesting fight because Josh Warrington was at one point he was talked about being one of the best featherweights in the world. So it's, for me, there's two featherweights better than him straight away. Never mind this Lara geezer. But if Lara does a number on him straight away on Saturday, I worry for Warrington. Where does he go?
Yeah, I think that might be it, Ray.
Yeah,
that might be, unless he goes down another route. Ray, I want to touch this topic because I know you want to talk. I know you probably want to shoot off. But Conor Benn, what do you make of Conor Benn? I know everyone seems to rate him. There's quite a few people that rate Conor Benn. I was speaking to somebody. I don't know who was I speaking to, and somebody was saying that was it Ash or I can't remember. I was speaking to someone. I can't remember who it was, and he was saying I really like Conor Benn. He's a monster. This that.
That's what was me.
Was that you, Stephen?
Yeah, I like Conor Benn a lot.
But Ray is not going to agree with you here. So I'll let Ray.
Conor Benn. If I'm being objective, like I usually am, he is one of the most improved fighters in the UK. Definitely between 2018 and 2020, he was the most improved fighter. When he come back from injury, you could tell he was working on his jab, working a bit more on his footwork, working a bit more on his ring craft, his shot selection. So but I just think that win against Vargas inflated him. It made everybody thought he was absolutely marvelous. He's still very, very raw, very, very raw in my opinion. He still has a lot of flaws technically, but what he has got what you can't teach: heart. He's got a lot of heart, and he's got a lot of desire. But I don't think he's anywhere near even I'm not talking about the top boys, even the gatekeepers. Like, you know, they're talking about him fighting Sean Porter like he beat Sean Porter easy. In my opinion, he doesn't. In my opinion, he doesn't beat Keith Thurman. He doesn't get close to Virgil Ortiz. He doesn't get close to Keith Thurman. The Broner fight's a good fight for him. I think he beats Broner. But again, that's it. Conor Benn needs those type of fights because you look at who Ortiz fought recently, Kavliauskas. He would beat Conor Benn.
Yeah.
I'm being straight.
Well,
He would beat Conor Benn.
Well, I just feel like he has a lot of intangibles. Like you said, number one, he has heart. You can't teach heart.
No,
Number two, Number two, that dude's a ferocious. He's a ferocious beast. You know what I'm saying? He's he's his appetite, man, is just ferocious. You know what I'm saying? And ferocious. And I think he has speed. He's a little wild. I would say he's a little wild, but he got speed and he got some pop on it. He got some zip on that punch, man. So I think that dude, I think he has the potential to be a future killer. Now, am I gonna say he could beat Sean Porter? Nah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. We have to be realistic about things. He's just an entry. He's coming in, making this entry into the welterweight division. So he's not gonna be able to compete with a lot of the seasoned guys like Thurman and all them. But I like to see him lay some to put on the gloves and bang against Virgil Ortiz, or Jermall Booth Simmons, or Jamal, Jamal James, any of those guys. I think Conor Ben is the real deal, my man.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think he's a big puncher
man.
though. I think a lot of people keep saying a lot of people keep saying he's a big puncher after knocking out Vargas. I don't think he's a big puncher.
No, and this is what I mean, man. I think that win against Vargas is inflated people's opinion of Conor Benn. You know, I've named welterweights I think could beat him. I even think David Avanesian beats Conor Benn.
Yeah, easy, yeah.
You know, and this is the problem.
You think Avanesian beats Conor Benn?
Yeah. You see, this is the thing. This is the thing with Conor Benn. He's not learned yet how to be effective with his aggression. So when you've got somebody like David Avanesian walking forward, cutting off the ring, because his jab's not part of his DNA. Do you see what I mean? He fights very much like his dad. He's a street fighter. He's not a boxer. So when he knows his jab's not working, he reverts to type. And because his footwork's slow and it's poor, that means he's susceptible to be cut off very, very easily. And because he's not that hard of a puncher, David Avanesian's going to walk through those punches. He's going to apply pressure, educated pressure. That's going to psychologically wear out Conor Benn. Then you saw against a Payard fight, when Conor Benn's psychologically tired, his punches don't carry that effect. So if they're not that powerful to start off with, they're less powerful. And then that's when Avanesian, who's like a shark, takes him out.
Ray, there's a question. Curtis Allen, you think he beats Amir Khan and Kell Brook?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. You
think he beats both? What do you think, Ash? Do you think he beats both?
Who?
Where's Ash? Do you think Conor Benn beats Amir Khan and Kell Brook at this point?
Amir Khan beats him, man. You know.
Well, at this
Amir
point, you
Khan
still
still
think,
got Amir Khan still got a bit, man. Just because you seen him against Crawford, you think he's got nothing left. You can't compare Conor Benn to Crawford. You hear what I'm trying to say? If he was fighting,
but Ash, there are a few people that think Khan beats that can't beat Ben, but there is a lot of people that think that Ben Khan at this point.
no,
I don't know.
fair enough.
We don't know what Khan's got left though, Ash.
No.
We don't, let's be real.
No.
He may be
No, but let's
completely.
be real. I'm being real, innit? Conor Benn has got minimum, kind of experience. He's not fought no one, and Samuel Vargas, he beat him whatever he done in the first round. But besides that, he's not fought nobody. And even if you can see he's got to be a speed, whatever. But Amir Khan will do him even now because with the experience, Amir Khan's got pop as well. It's not like he's got knockout power. And I can't see Conor Benn knocking him out.
Asha's got a point. I mean, yeah, Asha's got a point. I mean, if you comparing the Amir Khan Crawford fight, I mean, if you threw Conor Benn in with Crawford tomorrow, I mean, what would happen?
Yeah,
Same thing in three rounds, 4 rounds.
I knew you were gonna bring up Crawford there, man. I love it.
No, because people are going off his last fight.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. But Amir Khan didn't look good against Vargas as well. Prior fight to that.
No, because he's got the tendencies.
How long ago was that?
Yeah, but tendencies when the fight's easy, he just takes his eye off the ball and it's easy for him to beat Vargas.
It's later, yeah.
All right,
take care, Ray. Take care.
Take care, Ray. It was easy for him to beat Vargas. That's why he just switched off for a minute, got caught with a shot. That's all it was. It wasn't hurt. He dropped and got up.
Conor Benn absolutely wiped out Vargas.
No, Vargas is done by the time he fought Conor Benn.
True.
He's got nothing left. What has he done? Vargas is just a name that fought Amir Khan. If he didn't, who would be Vargas?
Yeah. He fought Danny Garcia, fought Errol Spence, fought Virgil Ortiz.
What I'm saying is, to be relevant, you wouldn't really know him because people in the UK especially know him.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
That's why Conor Benn fought him because the UK audience know him. Samuel Vargas is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
And I still think Kell Brook could beat him as well at this stage. It's a 50-50 fight.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know what they got left. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, Conor Benn's young. He's hungry. Do you know what I mean? You don't know. Like, it might be dangerous at this point.
Yeah, it is dangerous. But then, Kell Brook, he might not be completely gone in it. And if
but in that Crawford fight, man, he got hit with a jab, and he went.
Yeah, but it's Crawford. Same thing could happen with Conor Benn as well. Conor Benn would be out from the middle ropes as well.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, the thing is, what worried me about Kell Brook is that he looked really gun shy against Crawford. He wasn't throwing any punches or any power.
No, it was Crawford was making him not throw them punches with his movement.
Dundada says Khan and Brook not even worth fighting anymore. They're shot.
No, personally, I think Kell Brook can beat Conor Benn, and Amir Khan's got a chance as well. Kell Brook against Conor Benn, I'd say, is a 50-50 fight. Against Amir Khan, you could say Conor Benn's slight favorite at this stage, but not by much.
Hey, look, Dundada says Khan quit on the stool and Brook went down with a jab. Crawford didn't even knock them out spectacularly.
Yeah, but here we're talking about Crawford here. We're talking about, pound for pounder. We're talking, legendary type fighter. I mean, we're comparing him to one fighter.
To get knocked out by a jab, though. A jab's a jab, though, Ahmed?
Jab's a jab, but it's how you throw the jab. Is when you how you precise, how do you throw it with precision, timing. It's how you throw it.
So do you think that punch would have knocked out Conor Benn?
Yeah, if he's off guard, if you're off guard, if you switch off for a split second against Crawford, I mean, you're gonna go.
I don't think that would knock out Conor Benn like that. To be honest, a young, hungry guy, I don't think he would go out like that. I just think I think that was an effect of a damaged eye there. Yeah, let's be honest. That would have knocked out a prime Kell Brook.
It would have hurt him. Would have hurt him.
You think so? Amir Khan took a lot of shots off Crawford. Think about it. He took a lot of shots and he was taking it. And he's not someone that's known for having a. He's not known for somebody that's having the greatest chin, but he took a lot of shots from Crawford.
Yeah, but it was one-way traffic against Crawford.
Oh yeah, it was one-way traffic. What I mean is you can't say that he would like Khan was taking his shots though, innit?
Yeah, he was. But when he was off guard in the first round, you saw what happened again, innit? Of a split second.
What I mean, but he got back up from that. That's what I'm saying. That makes it even more saying that he was taking his punches.
Oh yeah, Amir Khan's he's warrior. He'll fight to the end. You know what I mean? Whatever the outcome, but the fact of the matter is, it was just going one way, and when it goes one way, the punches are hurting.
Richard's right in the comment section. He goes, "We all saw Guerrero v Ortiz comeback fight other week. After 3 rounds, both were knackered, and it became close, tight, a boring fight. Do you think Khan and Brook fight would be different?" Yeah, I do. I think Khan and Brook, someone's getting knocked out in that fight. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it is a 50-50 fight at this stage. If I was to choose somebody to get knocked out, it would probably be, to be honest with you, anyone, yeah. At this stage,
too close, man.
It's too close. It's one of them. It's Amir Khan could go at any stage, and Kell Brook could get overwhelmed with some hand speed. Still, if Khan's got it.
Yeah. I definitely feel that Brook and Khan will be more technically skilled, would be entertaining, and would be a fighting more at range. Ash, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Ahmed. Yeah. I think Amir Khan's got the edge though, because speed. And Kell Brook's kind of lost here, really. Do you want to quit in a way? Yeah, they both quit, but in different ways. But
I think Crawford, they can't fight. They shouldn't be in the ring with Crawford.
That guy's next level, and he's next level. Obviously,
not at this stage. Maybe in their primes, they would have been all right, but not now.
I think in the prime, I think Kell Brook would have got battered, because he only had that 1-2 and a grab, and he didn't have much more than that. He's just a big guy. But I mean, Amir Khan could have gave him more of a better fight. He wouldn't have been like he was now. You imagine him, Alexander, that Amir Khan for Alexander goes in with Terence Crawford. You give him a good fight, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Give him a good fight, yeah.
But then, if you put that Kell Brook in, the Sean Porter Kell Brook, you can see Terence Crawford still beating him.
No, Duckford close.
If you compare that Kell Brook.
You guys are Holland?
Don Dada said Prime Khan is 60-40 and Brook gets stopped. V Crawford, that is. So he thinks that Prime Khan... What, do you think Prime Khan would have been favourite against Crawford? Or Crawford would have been favourite 60-40 and Brook would have got stopped? Don Dada, clear that up. Surely you can't be saying that Prime Khan would be a favourite.
Yeah, Don Dada, that's not right, man.
He wouldn't have been a favourite against Crawford, man.
Crawford's another level, no matter what point of Khan's career. Just look somebody like
Spence will do him though, I think. But
the thing is with Errol Spence, Ash, Errol Spence was big. You know what I mean? So I think Khan could have outboxed Errol Spence, but I think the problem is I think Errol Spence's size and strength might get to Khan later on in that fight.
I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have. He's got his boxing skills are there as well. Like he put on show against Garcia, but I know Garcia is smaller. But I tell you, Errol Spence has got the boxing skill where he'll take the half step back and he'll counter. So
you don't think he'd get outboxed by Khan?
No, he's the same guy who put a beating on Mayweather in the training.
Yeah.
So if he can't get box Mayweather,
Amir Khan in his prime would have had a better chance against Errol Spence. I think, yeah.
A better chance of getting knocked out, yeah.
No, he would have had a good chance of beating, or he would have had more chance of beating Errol Spence than the Crawford, definitely.
Not really, 2 different fights, isn't it? Errol Spence's power and skill, Terence Crawford's skill and just skill, and he's got like orthodox, southpaw, different
Yeah,
challenges.
but don't forget Conor had good feet to get out of the way as well in his prime. You know, because don't forget Errol Spence comes forward.
Not really, man. Maidana, you think
fights one way,
look on
telegraphs
Maidana,
his punches.
look on Maidana done to him, nearly knocked him out. You think fucking Errol Spence would have let that Errol Spence, that Amir Khan beat Errol Spence?
But here's the thing, though, Ash. I feel like you don't rate Maidana that much. Man, Maidana was a monster. You think that Errol Spence would have had an easy night with Maidana?
No, because Amir Khan got tired in the fight and he couldn't really hurt Maidana. Errol Spence would have hurt Maidana earlier in the fight because Errol Spence, like guys like knocks them kind of, Maidana is a good fighter, but I think he would have got knocked out, man. You lost to Alexander, didn't
No,
he?
but Alexander was a very technical fighter. He was a very technical fighter. You see, Maidana was like, but here's the thing, Ash. Maidana was like Porter, right? But more powerful. He had a bigger punch. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at the fight that Porter gave Spence.
Yeah, but what was the end result?
Yeah, it was close, man. It was close though.
Put him on the floor though, didn't he? Didn't he put him on the floor?
Yeah, he did. But it was close though, Ash. Don't you think it was close?
But look, the point I'm making is Errol Spence fought Sean Porter's fight and he beat him at his own fight. He said, you want to brawl with you. But if he did that with Terence Crawford, I don't think Terence Crawford can brawl with him because I'm sure Velasquez dropped him with the right hand as well. And, he's not Sean Porter.
Terence Crawford can't brawl with Maidana, you mean?
I don't think he can fight Sean Porter the way Errol Spence did. And he can't keep... Ahmed can't tell me that Terence Crawford is going to box for 12 rounds against Sean Porter. You've got to fight.
So
when
you
it gets
think
to
Sean Porter's going to beat him then?
I told
box
you.
Or fight? Are you saying box or fight?
Look, remember I told you it's a 50-50. Remember I was saying to you, time
Oh,
we talked about
yeah.
Because Sean Porter is the type of guy, he's gonna come running at you, and if you want to box with him, he'll try box you, you're gonna hit him or whatever. But when there come a time you're gonna have to fight with him, you can't keep running around. Because Errol Spence could have tried to box him as well, but you can't. There's not many fighters that can box with him. You have to fight him.
Do you think Crawford's the type of guy to run from someone like Sean Porter?
No, what I'm saying is he ain't got the power to keep Porter off him.
Crawford's the type of guy, he'd mix it up. He'd mix it up, box fight, in, out,
The 50-50 because Sean Porter is the best. He's been in there with everyone. He knows what he takes. And he's not, I'm not saying he's going to beat Crawford, but what I'm saying, people are writing him off saying, Sean Porter, Crawford wins that fight. But it won't be an easy fight because everyone thought Errol Spence is going to beat him easily. And it was a tough fight. So don't sleep on Sean Porter is what I'm saying.
RJ World Sports News says Maidana was legit. How many iconic fights has Maidana had? Many will be remembered for years. Yeah, it's true, man. Even though he lost a couple, a lot of them were close, man. Like, the only fight he got dominated in was the Alexander fight. Every other fight that he lost was flipping like razor thin, and he could have arguably won those fights. He almost stopped Khan. The Mayweather fight was razor thin, that first fight. Razor close. And then the Kotelnik fight, a lot of people thought he beat Kotelnik. So the only fight he really got beaten badly was Alexander. And Alexander at that time was a beast. So I don't know, man. Maidana was a real dude, man. Maidana was a real dude. Who do you think wins, Ash? Maidana or Porter? That's a good one, isn't it? It's a good one.
Fun, man. You're thinking about it.
That's a tough one.
Tough one, man. You have to give me a minute, man. I'm thinking of that.
What about Maidana and Brook?
Maidana, Brook. I think in the primes. What Maidana though? You talking Maidana, the one of Amir Khan, or you talking Maidana the Mayweather?
Just say, well, he fought Mayweather at welterweight, so just say that. Say that Maidana.
I think Cal Brook would have beat him if you're talking Cal Brook before Golovkin.
And that beat Porter.
The one that just beat Porter, and then the one that came out to fight Golovkin, that Cal Brook would have beat Maidana. That was that was a prime type of Cal Brook. He came out and gave everything. You seen it in the rounds and against Golovkin. But after that, you never seen him that again. But
yeah,
that type of Kell Brook, I think, would have beat Maidana, because Maidana, yeah, is tough. Come out here and he's got a tough right hand. But I think Kell Brook had a more skill, man. You know what I mean? The English style would have done him.
What do you think, Ahmed? Kell Brook or Maidana?
I think they would have been a close fight. They're pretty similar level, to be honest with you. Maidana a bit more of a brawler, and Kell Brook a bit more of a boxer. I'd give the edge to Kell Brook. Edge, very close. Going on the Porter, going on the Brook that beat Porter, and the Maidana that fought Floyd Mayweather. I'd give the slight edge to Porter, I think.
Dondada says he's picking Maidana, but Brook is a strong welterweight. Kell Brook was my favorite welterweight. Should have never fought. Come again, Ahmed?
We just had 5 minutes before, man.
So
no, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me.
Oh, it's not you.
You sure, Ahmed? It wasn't you.
Okay.
You're watching TV
Anyway,
or
what are you saying, man?
chilling, man? Chilling. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Everyone's bigging up Madonna.
Yeah, XX says Maidana would beat Danny Garcia.
That's interesting fight that would have been.
That's an interesting fight, man.
At 140.
What do you make of this comment, bro? It's hard to judge, as Porter has always gone into fights being a bully fighter and never fought anyone like Maidana. It would be a bully style v bully. Maybe Porter would get caught by it being reckless. That's a tough fight, man.
Yeah.
That's a tough fight.
Fair comment.
Madonna's a bully as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That Maidana is a bully, so I feel Maidana has more power than Porter. I think Rich is right there.
I think Maidana would edge that maybe slightly.
Yeah, stylistically, I think that favors him, doesn't it?
He's got the jab, and he got a good jab when he went to Robert Garcia's gym.
Yeah. He's a beast. Like Maidana
He developed a jab. This is how he was hiding the right hand, didn't he? Before he was just chucking it. This is why Amir Khan, well, at that time,
he got caught with that right hand.
The easier Maidana, we never had a good jab, just had a right hand hook, you get it. When Robert Garcia got him to use a jab more, disguise the right hand, and that's how he got a bit better.
Yeah, man, I'd agree. Guys, man, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's getting late, man. I know you guys probably want to go sleep as well, man.
No,
it's late. But yeah, I appreciate Ash, Ahmed, Stephen, Ray, everyone coming on the chat, man. I appreciate you guys coming on, man. We're gonna let's see as AJ fight's coming close, man. You know what we should do, man? You know, then for that one, what we should do is have a live watch along, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like everyone giving their commentary on like each round and stuff, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? That would be good, man. I'd love to do that. Like just do like a roundup. You know, that'd be great. I think we should do that. Just answer Curtis Allen's last question before we go. How do you think Broner hangs with Brook and Khan nowadays?
I think Brook knocks him out still.
Yeah.
And I think Khan overwhelms him as well. I think he gets stopped by Khan as well, probably later on.
Ash?
Yeah. Broner is a fuckabout, isn't he? He doesn't really dedicate himself, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think Kell Brook, maybe, I don't know, maybe would knock him out. Still got the power, isn't he? And then, he's not, Broner's not really that active. He doesn't throw much punches, does he?
Yeah, he doesn't.
I think Brook maybe knock him out, or maybe even win him on points, because Brook's not much there. Amir Khan. Amir Khan beats him as well. Yeah, Amir Khan still beats him. I think Amir Khan still got a bit in the luck to beat guys like Broner.
Yeah,
he just hasn't got a top level. He hasn't got in the top level like Porter, Spence, Crawford.
Yeah,
Even Thurman, I think maybe would do him. We caught him. So other than them guys, even Ugas, these type of guys, they would destroy Amikon and these guys. He's at the level now where he can maybe have a good camp and fight maybe Samuel Vargas or Jesse Vargas. I mean, someone like that.
Imran Ash,
But
do you think he stands a chance against Danny Garcia at this stage? Do you think?
No, I don't think so now.
No, I don't think so. No, I think that's too dangerous, man. At this point, if he had fought Danny Garcia like 6 years ago, yeah, I think he would have beat him.
Yeah, if you done a rematch years ago, maybe you would have done it.
Yeah, I think he would have beat him, but not now.
I think that boat sailed.
Yeah, it's sailed, and I think that fight would favor Garcia, and it'd make him look bad because if Garcia knocks him out again, people will just say Garcia was the better fighter. Do you know what I mean? Which people probably say now anyway.
Danny Garcia is average fighter, to be honest. I think anyway. I'm not even dissing him, obviously, but he's an average fighter, man. If he didn't beat Amir Khan,
apart from the Matisse and Khan fight, he struggled like virtually every other fight.
The Herrera guy, didn't he beat him when they gave it to him?
Yeah. And Peterson, I thought.
Yeah, a lot of guys beat him, but somehow they kept him on because I don't know. You know how he works in his politics. But it's Amir Khan's own fault. He should have boxed for 12 rounds and beat him up easily. But he just wanted to be the big man. I want to knock him out. I'm going to knock down himself. And made his career.
Yeah, Richard's right, man. He said, sadly, inactivity has been the death of Khan and Brook's career. It's been frustrating as a huge Khan fan to see what is happening over the last 5 years. I'd agree with that, man. Not had any fights.
What about money chasing, isn't he?
Yeah. Dondada says, no way Danny's dad stunned his growth as a fighter. I don't know,
really,
man.
because I'm sure he must have wanted a rematch. They didn't want it.
Yeah. And he's saying his dad stopped Danny from becoming great.
Oh, how?
Yeah, I don't think. I think his dad actually.
His dad helped him in a lot of fights just by getting in the fighters' heads.
I think his dad pushed him, to be honest with you, and he reached his limits, to be honest with you.
If you think about it, right? Mental game is a big thing. Like Tyson Fury, the way he does it, and Big Five. I didn't really look at that as much, but now if you look back at it, Agent Garcia's talk, the way he gets in fighters' heads, he's got a good game. This is how he gives that advantage to his fighter. In this example, his son, isn't it? Where he's talking about Khan saying, "Oh, Pakistanis can't fight," and blah 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 blah. He took him out his game plan, and that was his plan. So you got to take your heart out to Angel Garcia.
Work. Work, man. But yeah, guys, man.
Anyway,
cheers for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, Ash. Thanks, Ahmed. Thanks, everyone in this chat. I really appreciate it, man. Appreciate you guys coming on, man. Take care, Ahmed. I'll see you guys. Everyone in the chat, take care. I'll see you guys soon. Richard, thanks for coming on. Kevin, Dondada, everyone in the live stream. Dude, bro, thanks you. Curtis Allen, thanks, bro, for being on. XXX, thanks for being on. Everyone, take care. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to smash the like button, everyone in the stream. Smash the like button on all my videos. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in the next stream, probably tomorrow. Take care.